Have you ever wondered how the aviation and marine industries have shaped Nigeria's economy? Picture this. Two industries, both fundamental to our modern world, both crucial for global connections, playing a significant role in one of Africa's largest economies. But what does this really mean for Nigeria? How have these industries transformed the nation's economic landscape? It's a fascinating story, full of surprises. Stay tuned as we unravel the economic transformation that these industries have brought about. To appreciate the impact, we need to journey back to the early years of aviation in Nigeria. It was the mid-20th century when the first planes touched down on Nigerian soil, marking a new chapter in the nation's history. With the establishment of the first airports and the inauguration of the national airline, Nigeria Airways, in the 60s, the country began to experience the transformative power of aviation. The initial benefits of this burgeoning industry were immediately apparent. For one, the introduction of air travel dramatically shortened travel times across the vast Nigerian landscape. This in turn facilitated the movement of people and goods, fostering trade and commerce within the country and with the rest of the world. Moreover, the aviation industry brought with it a wave of job creation. From pilots and cabin crew to ground staff and air traffic controllers, thousands of Nigerians found employment in this new sector. The industry also spurred the growth of ancillary businesses such as travel agencies, hotels, and transportation services, thereby further contributing to the country's economic development. Over time, the aviation sector became a significant contributor to Nigeria's gross domestic product, GDP. By the late 70s, it was already responsible for a considerable share of the country's GDP. It's also worth noting that the revenue generated from international and domestic air travel, as well as airport services, were a valuable source of foreign exchange earnings for the country. However, the impact of the aviation industry extended beyond the tangible economic benefits. It played a pivotal role in fostering national unity and cultural exchange. By connecting different regions of the country, it enabled Nigerians from diverse ethnic backgrounds to interact and learn from one another, thereby strengthening the fabric of Nigerian society. Hence, the establishment of the aviation industry in Nigeria was more than just the introduction of a new mode of transportation. It was the catalyst for economic growth, job creation, and cultural exchange that laid the groundwork for the Nigeria we know today. Indeed, the birth of aviation marked a new economic era in Nigeria. Parallel to aviation, the marine industry too was taking its baby steps. As Nigeria's coastline opened up to the world, so did an untapped economic landscape. The establishment of the marine industry in Nigeria was a pivotal moment, a time when the country began to harness the potential of its rich waters. In the early days, the marine industry was a modest operation. Fishing was the primary activity, providing livelihoods for coastal communities and contributing a small but significant portion to the nation's GDP. Yet the promise held by Nigeria's waters was far from fully realized. However, as Nigeria's international trade grew, so did the need for a more robust marine infrastructure. The government, recognizing the importance of this industry, made significant investments in the development of ports and shipping services. The Apapa Port Complex in Lagos and the Port Harcourt Port in Rivers State stand as testament to this commitment. These ports not only became the gateways for Nigeria's imports and exports, but also the hubs of economic activity. They generated employment, facilitated the movement of goods, and played a crucial role in connecting Nigeria with the rest of the world. The marine industry was no longer just about fishing. It had become an integral part of Nigeria's growing economy. The impact of the marine industry on Nigeria's economy cannot be understated. It provided an alternative mode of transport, reduced the pressure on road networks, and contributed to the diversification of the economy. The marine industry's contribution to Nigeria's GDP has been steadily on the rise, proving that the investments made in this sector were well worth it. The marine industry's journey from humble beginnings to becoming a significant player in Nigeria's economy is a story of resilience, foresight, and strategic investment. It has shown that with the right policies and investments, Nigeria can unlock the potential of its natural resources and create a more diverse and resilient economy. This marked the start of a new chapter for Nigeria's economy. The marine industry's rise was a testament to the country's ability to adapt and thrive in a changing economic landscape. It stands as a beacon of hope, a reminder of the potential that lies in Nigeria's rich waters. As time went by, the aviation industry soared high, bringing about significant economic changes. Our journey begins in the late 20th century, when the aviation sector was just starting to find its wings in Nigeria. It was a time of humble beginnings with a handful of airports and a few airlines. Fast forward to today, and the story is quite different. The industry has grown exponentially with an increasing number of airlines, airports, and more importantly, passengers. The aviation industry's growth has been nothing short of phenomenal, and this growth has been mirrored by its contribution to the economy. Over the years, aviation has emerged as a significant player in Nigeria's economic landscape. It has become a key driver of economic growth, creating jobs, facilitating trade, and contributing to the national GDP. The aviation industry now directly employs hundreds of thousands of people, from pilots and cabin crew to ground staff and airport security. But the impact goes beyond direct employment. Think about the tourism industry, for instance. The growth of aviation has made Nigeria more accessible to the rest of the world, boosting tourism and, by extension, the hospitality industry. Moreover, the aviation industry is a significant contributor to Nigeria's GDP. In fact, according to the International Air Transport Association, the aviation sector's contribution to Nigeria's GDP has increased by about 20% over the past decade. It's worth noting that these figures don't even account for the indirect contributions, such as the boost to tourism or the impact on other sectors like logistics and freight. But perhaps the most important contribution of aviation is its role in connecting Nigeria to the world. It has made the world smaller, fostering international trade and creating a global marketplace. It has made it easier for businesses to reach customers, for families to stay connected, and for cultures to intermingle. Indeed, the aviation industry has come a long way in Nigeria. It's not just about flying planes anymore. It's about driving economic growth, creating jobs, and connecting Nigeria to the world. Aviation had certainly begun to make its mark on Nigeria's economy. Simultaneously, the marine industry was making waves of its own. While aviation was soaring in the skies, the marine sector was navigating through its own journey of growth, becoming an increasingly significant contributor to Nigeria's economy. The marine industry, as it turns out, has been quietly carving out its own path of influence, not just in the traditional sense of shipping and fishing, but in a myriad of ways that often go unnoticed. It has been expanding its reach, not just on the surface of the sea, but beneath it, exploring the depths with offshore drilling and deep-sea mining. In recent years, Nigeria has seen a significant expansion in its seaports and terminals, transforming the nation into a key hub for international shipping. This has boosted trade, created jobs, and contributed significantly to the country's GDP. But that's not all. The marine sector has been broadening its horizons, venturing into new areas like marine tourism and renewable energy. The beautiful coastlines and rich marine biodiversity of Nigeria have started attracting tourists from around the globe, creating a whole new avenue for revenue. Simultaneously, the marine sector has been dipping its toes in the field of renewable energy. Harnessing the power of the sea through wave and tidal energy has opened up new possibilities for sustainable development. However, the marine industry's influence goes beyond economic outputs. It has started playing a pivotal role in connecting Nigeria with the rest of the world, promoting cultural exchange, and fostering international relations. The marine industry's growth has been a testament to Nigeria's adaptability and resilience. It has shown that the nation can not only keep up with the global economic currents, but also ride the waves to new heights of prosperity. It's clear that the marine industry has been steadily transforming Nigeria's economic landscape, becoming a vital pillar of the country's economy. Its rising influence has been undeniable, and its potential vast and untapped. The marine industry had indeed begun to shape Nigeria's economic landscape, and as it continues to grow and evolve, it promises to play an even greater role in Nigeria's future economic success. Fast forward to the present, and the aviation industry is a significant economic player. Indeed, the aviation industry in Nigeria has grown leaps and bounds, becoming a formidable force in the economic landscape. Let's dive into the specifics of this economic powerhouse. Directly and indirectly, the aviation sector contributes to the Nigerian economy in a myriad of ways. At its core, the industry supports thousands of jobs, from pilots, air traffic controllers, and engineers to ground staff and customer service representatives. It's a bustling hive of activity that keeps the wheels of the economy turning. But the impact doesn't stop there. The aviation industry is a key enabler of other sectors. It facilitates tourism, allowing millions of people to visit Nigeria every year, boosting local businesses and creating jobs in hospitality, retail, and beyond. It supports the oil and gas industry, providing crucial transportation for personnel and supplies. It enables the rapid movement of goods and services, fostering trade and investment. Furthermore, the aviation sector helps to connect Nigeria with the rest of the world. In a globalized era, connectivity is currency. The industry strengthens Nigeria's position on the international stage, fostering business relationships and cultural exchanges that drive economic growth. But it's not just about the big picture. On a micro level, the aviation industry stimulates local economies. Airports, for example, often serve as economic hubs, attracting businesses and generating income for the surrounding communities. And let's not forget the tax revenue. The aviation industry contributes significantly to the government's coffers, funding public services and infrastructure that benefit all Nigerians. In terms of numbers, it's estimated that the aviation sector contributes over 5% to Nigeria's gross domestic product. That might not sound like much, but when you consider the size of Nigeria's economy, it translates to billions of dollars each year. So while the aviation industry might not be the largest sector in Nigeria, its economic impact is profound and far-reaching. It's a key player in the nation's economy, driving growth and prosperity in countless ways. Today, aviation plays a pivotal role in Nigeria's economy. Not to be left behind, the marine industry too has carved its niche in the economy. Let's cast our eyes toward Nigeria's coastlines, where the marine industry is making waves of its own. The marine industry is a broad term, encompassing a range of activities from shipping and fishing to oil and gas exploration, and even tourism. Each of these sectors contributes significantly to the Nigerian economy. For starters, shipping is a vital lifeline for Nigeria. Given the country's extensive coastline and its reliance on imported goods, shipping plays a crucial role in the nation's trade dynamics. It's estimated that over 90% of Nigeria's international trade is conducted via sea. Think about that for a moment. Nearly all of the country's imports and exports are facilitated by the marine industry. Then, there's the oil and gas sector, a major player in Nigeria's marine industry. Nigeria, as we know, is Africa's largest oil producer, and the sector contributes a significant chunk to the country's revenues. Much of this oil is located offshore, necessitating extensive use of marine resources for exploration and extraction. Fishing is another cornerstone of Nigeria's marine industry. With a coastline stretching over 800 kilometers, the country has a rich diversity of marine life. Fisheries provide employment for millions of Nigerians and contribute to the nation's food security. Let's not forget about marine tourism. Nigeria's beautiful beaches and coastal resorts attract tourists from around the world, generating substantial revenues for the local economy and creating job opportunities for the local population. In short, the marine industry plays a multifaceted role in Nigeria's economy. It's a key facilitator of trade, a major revenue generator, a provider of employment, and a promoter of tourism. The industry's economic contributions are vast and varied, and its potential for future growth is substantial. The marine industry indeed holds a significant place in Nigeria's economic framework. So, what's the combined impact of these industries on Nigeria's economy? Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. The aviation and marine industries, two seemingly different sectors, both play an essential role in shaping Nigeria's economic landscape. They are not isolated entities, but rather, they intertwine and complement each other, fostering an environment that encourages economic growth. The aviation industry, with its increasing contribution, has opened up Nigeria to the world. It has not only boosted tourism, but also facilitated trade, allowing goods and services to reach international markets faster than ever before. The ripple effect is significant, with every dollar spent in aviation potentially generating $4 in the wider economy. On the other hand, the marine industry, with its rising influence, has strengthened Nigeria's position as a maritime hub. The industry has played a pivotal role in facilitating domestic and international trade, harnessing the country's strategic location and abundant marine resources. The marine industry's contribution is not limited to direct revenues from port activities. It extends to indirect revenues generated through related industries such as shipbuilding, logistics, and seafood. When these two industries come together, they form a powerful economic force. They have created jobs, stimulated investment, and contributed to the diversification of the Nigerian economy. The aviation industry alone employs over 100,000 people directly and indirectly, while the marine industry employs nearly 500,000. The combined economic impact of these industries is further magnified when we consider their role in infrastructure development. Airports, seaports, roads, and other related infrastructure have seen substantial improvements thanks to investments driven by these industries. This has not only enhanced the quality of life for Nigerians, but also created an environment conducive to business. Moreover, these industries have contributed to Nigeria's GDP growth. In the last 5 years, they have added an average of 5% to the country's GDP, a figure that is expected to rise in the coming years. But perhaps the most significant impact is the potential for future growth. With the right policies and investments, the aviation and marine industries can propel Nigeria towards a more diversified, resilient, and sustainable economy. There's no doubt that the aviation and marine industries have had a profound impact on Nigeria's economy, accelerating its growth and diversifying its base.